think I found my man.
Now I want to see what you got.
I'm surprised you're still alive.
Need for Speed Undercover was one of the most divisive entries in the Need for Speed franchise, receiving mixed reactions and mixed reviews upon its release. Some fans absolutely loved it, while others were left scratching their heads in disappointment. Now in this video, we're going to look into the controversial reception of Need for Speed Undercover and question ourselves whether it truly deserves its negative reputation. So make sure to stick to the end so you can see what I think of the game. Now, before we look at the things that made gamers hate the game, let's look at the quick description of the game. Need for Speed Undercover was developed by EA Black Box, which is my favorite studio, and published by EA and was released in 2008, marking itself as the 12th installment in the Need for Speed series following the events of Need for Speed Pro Street. In the game's main story mode, you take on the role of an undercover police officer seeking to break up an illegal syndicate operating within the underground street race world. The game's story and events take place in the fictional region of the Tri-State Bay, which was heavily influenced by the real-life city of Miami, alongside locations visited by the development team across the Gulf Coast and California state. Alright, now that we have covered what the game is all about, let's look at the things that made people hate the game. One of the biggest criticisms of Need for Speed Undercover comes from its gameplay mechanics. Many players were let down by the handling of the cars, claiming it felt sluggish and unresponsive compared to earlier titles like Need for Speed Most Wanted and Need for Speed Carbon. And there was the storyline. The plot was criticized for being cliché and lacking depth, and lacking in character development. Players expected a exhilarating street racing experience, but instead they got a narrative that felt more like a bad action movie. This combination left a sour taste in the mouths of many fans who anticipated a game that would elevate the franchise rather than dragging it down. Now, I played Need for Speed Undercover when I got my PS2 for the first time, and I played this game for the first time. And the first time I played this game, I didn't have no problem with it because I was just a kid that really enjoyed video games, and if a game's good, then the game is good. Personally, for me, when I was a kid, I would just play Need for Speed because it was all about racing and upgrading cars and all that stuff. But I never got to know that why did people hate it so much. Now, let's take a closer look at what Need for Speed Undercover brings to the table. First up, the graphics. When the game launched, the visuals were a mixed bag because people were having some kind of mixed reactions when it comes to the graphics. Some players praised the vibrant open world design, while others pointed out that it didn't quite match the polish of its predecessors, like Need for Speed Most Wanted and Carbon. Then there's the car selection, a staple in any racing game. Undercover features a decent lineup of vehicles, but some fans felt it lacked the variety and excitement that they were used to. And speaking of the excitement, the open world environment was supposed to be a highlight, allowing players to explore and race freely. While some enjoyed the freedom, others found it to be a bit empty and lacking in engaging content compared to previous titles like Most Wanted and Carbon. So it's clear that there's a lot to unpack here. Now, for me as a person that really wants to put my intake on this, I personally didn't care about the graphics of the game because the graphics of a game really doesn't dictate what the game should be. Personally, for me, I feel that if the storyline is good, the graphics should follow after, right? Because the storyline, for me, it was okay, but I didn't like the storyline of it. So I was kind of like those people that didn't like the game, but also I really liked the game, but also there are some things that made the game really stiff. But hold on, it's not all doom and gloom. There are definitely some unexpected positive aspects of Need for Speed Undercover that some players enjoyed. For instance, the cinematic cutscenes and the overall presentation had a unique flair that drew in certain fans. Plus, the highway battle mode was a hit for those who loved intense police chases and adrenaline-pumping action. And let's not forget the nostalgia factor. For some, revisiting the franchise during this era brought back fond memories despite the game's shortcomings. This moment highlights that while Undercover may not be perfect, it still has its charm and dedicated fans who appreciate it for what it is today. Like I said, for me guys, I had no idea that people hated this game because at that time I was just a gamer who just loves playing Need for Speed games, and I had no problem with this game because sure, it had its downfall, but for me personally, I really liked the game. I really liked it because it was trying something different for once. So let's recap what we've discussed. Need for Speed Undercover faced heavy criticism for its gameplay mechanics and lackluster storyline and its graphics, leaving many fans disappointed. But however, it also brought some memorable moments and features that a portion of the players enjoyed. It's clear that this game elicited strong opinions. Whether you love it or you hate it, it definitely made a mark in this franchise. Now, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about Need for Speed Undercover? Is it as bad as they say, or do you think it has had some redeeming qualities? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video guys, please leave a like and subscribe so that you make sure that you are notified whenever I post another video like this in the near future. Thanks for watching guys, and as always, stay frosty.